Here we are. I am not sure if I am live or not, but if I am and you're with me, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. All right. I'm going to wait just a few minutes here as we're talking to everyone. And if you are live with me, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and let me know that you are joining me live, just so I can say hi to you, so that I know you're on here with me. And let's see here. All right. So, hey everyone, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. And with that, I'm going to do an introduction. And I wanted to bring on to you, I wanted to let you know, sorry about that, I'm just recording this now. All right, so hey everyone, I have a huge treat for you today. I am actually bringing on one of my mentors who has been a mentor of mine for about over 10 years now. Kevin Yoder. He was actually the first mentor of mine that I had in real estate. In fact, I started my real estate career on his team. He has gone off now and is the owner of Yoder Real Estate, and he is also a Bob Proctor consultant. Kevin has been studying the mindset. And one of the main things that he has discovered is that our own self-image is imperative with how we perform our everyday lives. And he is coaching me and consulting me on how to become my best self. And I've just made the promise that if there is somebody who has either greatly impacted my business or greatly impacted my life in one way, shape, or another, I was just not going to keep them secret. And I want to make sure that I am sharing their knowledge with you and making sure that I'm bringing them to my friends, family, and clients, because this gentleman has so much information that we could probably sit on this webinar with you for 12 hours and the questions would continue to come in. So I'm going to bring in Kevin Yoder. Kevin, if you can unmute yourself and if you can show us your face, that would be great. Here he is. Hi,
Here
Kevin.
I am, Brooke. Hi, Brooke. Thanks for having me on.
I am so glad that you're here.
I am as well.
Just so everyone knows, we did not, we don't practice this. We don't discuss anything prior. However, you and I have had many discussions on Bob Proctor's trainings. You do the consulting work for me. I think I've been doing that with you since maybe January or February.
Yeah, seems about right.
So a little backstory, Kevin and I, like I had said, I had joined his real estate team back in, I think, 2010, 2011. And then when I went on my own, we really hadn't seen each other in probably 6-7 years. Not because we didn't like each other, just because we both had our own lives and did our own things, and that's how it worked. And then the minute I was looking for something more and knew I needed a change in my life, my business coaches had taken me, you know, as far as I felt like I could go, and I felt like something's missing. Why am I not getting where I need to go? What's stopping me? Our founder, our creator, has a really awesome way of working, and poof, I run into Kevin Yoder at dinner when I'm with my team. We decide to have coffee, and we've talked just about every day since. So I'm really excited to be able to share you with everybody and what you're doing for me and so many other people. And so I wanted to talk to you about this. So you became a PGI consultant with Bob Proctor. For those of you that don't know, Bob Proctor, he is probably the oldest guy on the Secret, right? If you haven't seen The Secret, and he has probably studied the mind more than anybody. But if you can tell us about why did you become a PGI consultant? Why did you decide to pair up with Bob? And then we're going to get into the discussion of why self-image is so important with our everyday lives. So talk to me about how you became a PGI consultant.
All right, I'll make this. I'll condense the story for the sake of our time here. But thanks for having me here, Brooke. It's such an honor, and it's been really a privilege to watch you grow. And even the fact that you're doing this is sort of ironic, because even this Facebook Live here is emblematic of somebody who has ratcheted up her self-image, because who does this is someone who believes that they can. And so congratulations on that. So I had this epiphany right at the end of 2018 that my business had stagnated. And not that that was an epiphany, but just realizing that, okay, this is not changing. We're successful in real estate, but like from the outside looking in, yeah, maybe the numbers were there, but ultimately we had hit the ceiling again. That happened in 2010 when I brought you on and we started the team. And then right about 8 years later, like several years in a row, we hadn't grown. Now, if you guys have studied leadership and personal growth, you know that the business's success is going to be locked by the owner, right? The visionary, that person, if that person's not growing, the business will stagnate. That's kind of a come to Jesus moment. So I realized that I like to say, I realized I couldn't pour from an empty cup. I needed more. I really needed to infuse more in me so that I could help others. I could help the business grow, but I was more passionate about being able to help other people, because I felt like I just didn't have much more to offer at this point. You know, I'd gone through the coaching, like you said, Brooke. I had done real estate, probably 5 different real estate coaches. This is not a knock on that. It's just, it covers one aspect, right? But I was looking for something, and I kept on telling my wife, I need a blueprint. I need a mentor and a blueprint of some, like, and I had a feeling, it was a feeling that I was like what I was looking for. And I kind of verbalized it too. And I'm telling you, like, it's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for something very specific. I took my daughter to see Harry Potter on Broadway in New York City. I was in the basement working out on a treadmill, and I pull up YouTube like I always do to watch some motivational video. And there was Bob. He says, sales is a transference of energy. And I said, what the hell is this old man talking about? But he hooked me. But he hooked me. Sales, that's what I love. Transference of energy is what got me, because I was really, really super interested in what he was going to share. So what he shares is you get people's attention, and he got my attention. And then I was on YouTube videos for like 20 hours, just really digesting what he was sharing. And I'd never heard anything like it before. I've heard of him, and I saw him on The Secret, but I didn't understand. I never heard this before. And it was something that just blew my mind, and I was hooked. And I knew this was the path. What we are seeking is also seeking us, for sure.
Totally. Absolutely. And you have to be open to it. You have to be looking for it. Sales is, say that again. He said he hooked you with what? Sales?
Sales is a transference of energy.
Okay,
transference of energy.
Explain that to somebody that doesn't, maybe when I first got started in this, I may not have realized that everything was energy. Or if you were talking to me before I'd gone through any Bob Proctor training with you, I probably wouldn't know what you were meaning when you say that. So talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I heard, it's funny you say that, because this morning I was doing some studying, and I came across an Einstein quote. And I might share it with you tonight if we're lucky. But I got really curious about Einstein quotes, and I found he said, if you can't explain, so this is really good. Get this. This is good. If you can't explain something to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. I love that. So if I were to explain that to a 6-year-old, I would simply share that there is an energy that flows to everybody, flows to and through us. And we have the ability to share that energy with other people. It's called vibration, but let's not get caught up on that. And so when we're selling, we're influencing somebody else through our words, also through our vibration. So in other words, they can feel the essence of us. And so what Bob was sharing, and I later figured out what he was really sharing, was that we can move people towards us. We pull them towards us, an idea and a concept based on how we're, like, the essence of us, how we're vibrating. So if you're in sales, pick this up. Like it's conscious and subconscious. Like our words are impacting them, but also like, what are we putting off? What is our signal that we're sending to the other person? That's kind of, that's what we're talking about. I could go deeper on that, but let's just leave it at that level for now.
Yeah. Well, I'll give everyone an example. So here's a perfect one. So thank heaven, Kevin knows me very personally, because today he called me and I was out in the middle of nowhere. My GPS was turning me around. I was on a dirt road. I didn't know where I was. And he was like, whew, I can feel your energy. Why don't you just call me back when things are worked out, right?
Yeah.
So you felt my vibration. You knew that
Yeah.
I was just not in line with what it is that we had planned to discuss, because I was somewhere else. So you felt that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I
it wasn't
think
it wasn't your words either. I just could
was,
sense, I could sense
sure,
something. So that's like if we don't understand this, we'll call it fate. In other words, a salesperson who doesn't get this, they'll call it fate, or they'll call people mean. No, you're
yeah,
literally vibrating at a level that people cannot connect with you.
correct. Yeah, I love that. So we'll just use that as the example that I had
Yeah.
takes. And we all are like that if we're not aware of our state of mind, of the energy or the vibration that we're giving off. We could be read in a way or in a manner that we're not really even knowing that we're giving off. So I think everyone's tuning in today though, because I want to talk about self-image. And you do such a great job of going through Bob's trainings and consulting me on what it is that you're learning. And I feel like every time we're on a new topic, I always say, this is my favorite. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
The one though, that when I say, I was going through business coaches, and again, just like you, that's great. I needed business coaches to get me into a spot of where I was in business. I also still felt like a lion in a cage. I still felt like, why am I not getting to where I want to be in life? Why is it that I feel something's holding me back? I know what I need to do. I know what I want to do. I know how to do it. And for some reason, I'm just not there. And then we got into the topic of self-image, and it was like a bomb dropped on me. So help me understand, and help everyone else understand, because I know that you are here and I'm just getting started. So if you can help me understand, why is self-image so important to who we are, or our success in life, or what we want to accomplish?
Sure. Yeah. So as I share, I've shared with you many times, Brooke, that I'm passionate about this for a reason. It's because once I understood what was at play, I recognized what was holding me back in my businesses, because we can never outperform our self-image. This is not taught in school. I learned about this at the age of 46. Yeah. There it is, right? So it's really interesting. It's an interesting topic. It's also something I'm fascinated by it, because I can hover above now and I can see when the image is holding someone back. So I'm going to share something with you that we can wrap back around to later on. But let me start off by saying this. I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am.
Oh.
So listen for a second. I was fortunate enough to be on a Zoom call with Bob Proctor this afternoon, and he dropped that on us. And he was talking about the self-image. I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Now, as Bob said, you got to wrestle with that one a little bit. But if you do, you will come to the conclusion. You'll understand what those words mean. So you may want to write that down. So why is it so important? It's because we have two images. We have the image that we project to the outside world. And then we have that deep down image, like that deep down subconscious, what we think we are worth. Who are we worth? What is our place in the world? And that's the one that controls what we get, our outcomes, our incomes, our level of business, our level of influence. Salespeople out there, heed this. This is important. Our sales results are a reflection of our self-image. How often? Every time. What about, no, every time. It's always going to be a reflection of our image, because our image is who we believe we are deep down inside, not the posty on Facebook side. Like that's flashy, showy. It could be who you really are, but a lot of times it's just the best version. But when you lay your head down on your pillow and you're having those deep thoughts, and you know deep down inside who you really believe you are, you're going to put forth the efforts that are associated in an alignment with that version of the person you really believe you are.
So what do you say to the person that says, yeah, but you don't understand, you don't know my situation? What do you say to that?
Well, so everybody has situations is what I'd say. It's everybody has situations. We all have circumstances and events in our life. And it really has nothing to do with the circumstances. It has to do with understanding that we developed our self-image at an early age. Our minds were wide open. So we have let me just share something with you, Brooke. I don't want to so look, see this image here? This changed my life. Okay. So I'll just show you. We have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind and the body. This is the best representation we can give. So imagine if this was blocked, which is the conscious mind, that leaves the subconscious was wide open for our formative years. You can dig into this, Google this afterwards, YouTube it. This is all available for you. Our subconscious mind was wide open and it was downloading data from our environment. So imagine
when we were born, when we were young.
Yeah, born, like it is we're just downloading. So what are we downloading? Conversations from our parents, grandparents, teachers, family, radio, television, news, and finally, vibration and essence. In other words, what our parents are putting off, we are picking up. We had that conversation about 10 minutes ago. So all of that is downloaded and we're just downloading it like a computer downloads information. Then our conscious mind begins to form around 7 to 10 years. And it then begins to say, okay, wait a minute. This information that's coming in, do I reject it or do I then let it set into the subconscious mind? So at least we have a choice, but most people don't use the conscious mind in that way. They're still allowing that to sink into the subconscious and wreaking havoc. So what I say, Brooke, is that, yeah, but you don't understand my situation. Well, everybody has a background. And so everybody has been brought up in a certain way. So if you were fortunate enough to be among the 10 or 5% of society that had parents that understood this, then they would be dropping seeds of abundance and success and well-being, and you're worthy. You're God's highest form of creation. Did you know that you can be, do, and have anything you want? Not me. So not most people, right? But this is not a woe is me.
Right.
I'm super glad that how I was brought up, because I wouldn't be having this conversation if it was all handed to me, you know?
Right. Well, and I would say most people are, if we were brought up to be whether below middle class or upper class, I'm a family of 4 kids, middle class, beautiful, loving family. But conversations on how to build wealth weren't happening at my dinner table. Conversations of how to get my degree and go to work were happening at my dinner table, right? So then that's exactly what I did. And so when I felt like and I don't know if that's a self-image thing or if I just didn't know that that's what I was downloading. But for somebody who felt like I did, or even you, I would love for you to share with others a little bit about your story and why the self-image thing was, as you had mentioned to me, a big lesson for you to get through too, to kind of have a breakthrough on what it was what you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, so once I realized that's good, Brooke. But you touched on something. You touched on environment. So we're going back to the dinner table. I don't want to leave that. That's a good observation. Really good. We're genetically programmed. So upon conception, mom and dad get together so genetic snapshot. Like imagine this is super powerful. Think about our ancestors going back as far as you can even imagine, like their conception, all that genetic programming is passed on from generation to generation. So what's going on in mom and dad at the moment of conception is passed to you. So thoughts of worry, doubt, anxiety, lack, limitation, genetic snapshot, boom, there you go. Now you got it. So you have genetic programming, but then also what's going on in the household. Are there worries? The conversations, lower income conversations are different from middle class conversations at the dinner table, and different from like high income earners and successful. Like the conversations are different. So then you're wired that way too. Your image is based on your belief systems of how you feel like you fit into the world. What is your place here? What are you capable of? That is all spinning off of that. That's all there. Like so deeply rooted. So yeah, the dinner table, right?
Yeah.
So when I reached that point in my business, I had a couple evolutions. Now, when you and I met back in 2010 and 11, I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that I was being held back. I kept on saying that I felt like I had weights around my ankles because I was watching like my peers outperform me in real estate, and I didn't know what was going on. So I didn't believe. Now that I'm looking back on this, you can connect the dots going backwards. I didn't believe that I was worthy of being that type of a real estate agent that has a team. I didn't believe that because that wasn't me. That takes leadership, that takes marketing, that takes savviness, that takes getting on the phone and calling people every day when you don't feel like you don't believe you're worthy of that. So before I even became involved in this material, I had a realization that I needed to increase the level of my image to match my goals in real estate. And so I did. I adjusted the thermostat by taking massive action. And that got me so far. So then we got me, as I mentioned, 2008, hit the ceiling again. And now I realize, oh crap, I've got to figure something out. I need a different blueprint. I think the other thing too, Brooke, is, 8 years had gone by and I didn't want to go back to doing what I had done, working 70 hours a week through hustle and hard work. That wasn't in 2008, end of 2018. I was not in the place where I was willing to do what I did in 2010. So it was a different time for me. And I needed to attach myself to a blueprint rather than just the hustle thing, so
You're tired.
It worked. Well,
we're tired, or you needed something more? You needed something different?
I needed to find something, the path that I knew would be more elegant, that I knew would be easier, because once we latch onto this, I didn't know this, but now I know it's crazy how exactly what I was looking for is exactly what I found. So I needed to find the blueprint, which allowed me to install a new belief system in me, what I really believe I'm capable of. And now if you ask me that now versus 2 years ago, my answer is completely different.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
So talk to me, because you hit on something really big when you had said I adjusted my thermostat. I'm 6 years old, remember? Tell me what that means.
Okay, so listen, when you go over to the thermostat on the wall, it's a thing that changes the temperature, right? So imagine it's wintertime and it's 30 degrees outside, and you have it's called the thermostat, and it's set at a certain temperature. Let's say it's set at 72. Someone opens the front door, in rushes the cold wind, and the temperature starts to lower in the house. The thermostat reads that temperature, it kicks the furnace on, and then it brings it back up to the 72. That's the job of the thermostat. So the self-image is a controlling, regulating mechanism. There's one word, you got to write it down. If you don't, you're going to miss this whole thing. The word is consistency. Consistency. The self-image holds the key to our better life for that exact reason. Because our actions, our feelings, our behaviors, and our abilities are always going to be consistent with the belief system.
Yeah.
Consistency. So it's consistent like a thermostat. So you go out, what does this look like in a practical world? I'm going to go out and I'm going to hustle. I'm going to just do the hard work thing. Well, I was going to share something with you. It's like, if you think about it, like working on the circumference is working on things outside of yourself. So, like positive thinking, just alone positive thinking is not going to do the job. Or going out and hustling, working 70, 80 hours a week, like you will likely increase your performance, or you've heard hustle. The challenge with this is that people get it wrong. They think it's like, I'm going to go out and just work harder. Well, you will outperform for a minute your self-image. Now this thermostat says, hey, wait a minute, what you doing? No. You are not that person that you are trying to be. Let's regulate you back down. And here's the kicker. Your self-image will sabotage you. You will self-sabotage and you don't even know what's going on. And sabotage comes in all forms. The research has been done on this, Brooke. You probably got glimpses of that. The salesperson goes out and they try to sell more than what they're accustomed to. And they literally do things to sabotage themselves. They get it right back down because their income levels are also set by that same thermostat, the image, what we believe we're worth.
I love it. So in order to increase your, I don't want to say performance, your stability and success, maybe whatever that may be, income, relationships, whatever it may be.
Yeah, whatever.
You first need to change your self-image to match what it is that you want. So you need to believe not only that you're worth it, but that it's already yours and expect it. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it's fair to say, because we will always, because of that consistency piece, we will always act like the sort of person that we conceive ourselves to be.
So the person that's watching and says, okay, how do I do that? What piece of advice can you give to them?
Well, that's good. That's big, Brooke. That's big. There are ways to do that. And if we understand, so there's a book, a phenomenal book written by Maxwell Maltz. And he really was the pioneer of the self-image movement, which Maltz was he was a plastic surgeon. So what he found was he would begin to do surgery on people's faces. About 50% of the time, he literally would remove the face and put a new one on, and the person would change, their personality would change. Their image would be improved. And then 50% of the time, it wasn't changed. In other words, it didn't matter. In other words, they literally were the same. In fact, sometimes they actually went backwards. So he began to postulate that there's something else going on. There's something underneath this. How could this be possible? They're now beautiful in the eyes of society. I changed their nose, their ears, their whatever. There's something else deeper here. So in psychocybernetics, it really opens up, unlocks the what's at play here, and also some strategies for this. But I will share this with you, Brooke. If we understand that when he describes that we are psycho-cybernetic, hence the name psycho-cybernetics, but our brains are really like servo mechanisms. Now, let me just distill that down. We understand that a heat-seeking missile will find its target, right?
Yep.
Press launch, it goes, the target's moving, and it hits it. So our brains are the same way. And so we have this mechanism that we are born with, like God wants us to go after goals, like we're goal-seeking servo mechanisms. And so it also works with failure. And so we can serve up the goal, failure goal, or the success goal. So whatever that is. So we have to have a clear-cut goal objective. So in this case, our clear-cut goal is the image of the person we want to be. That's the target. And so we can change our image through creating the image of the person. So our brains have to have something to work on. They have to have a goal to work on, a problem to solve. So we have to give it the right one, give it the direction. Like, where is this going? That's why vagueness is a terrible paradigm, because it doesn't give us any direction. Like, what do I want? Well, I kind of want to sort of, maybe sort of. Okay, there you go.
Someday.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure. Like, I think I might want to be more. So there's ways to do it. I'll tell you this. So I gave you a word, consistency. By the way, how long are we on tonight? Because I can talk for 5 hours on this topic. So let me narrow my focus, because
let's do another 10-15 minutes, and then we'll take questions from anyone and cut it at 8.
So awesome. 2 words, consistency. Why? Because our actions will always be consistent with the image we hold of ourselves, the concept of that person that I think that I really am. Okay. The second word is going to answer your question, is imagination. Imagination. So why is that so important? It is so important because it's the key. It unlocks the key. When you're looking at psycho-cybernetics, for example, I carry it with me as I do Think and Grow Rich. But he talks about our goals, that our own creative mechanism seeks to achieve our mental images. The key goal is our self-image. He says that it's all about this imagination that we use to accomplish that. So it's in the imagination. You are out picturing and acting out and acting as if. So I've heard people say like, that's bogus, don't act as it. No, you're using your imagination to do that. I love what he says is that if you can remember, if you can worry, and if you can tie your shoe, you can change your self-image. So what the hell is he talking about? If you can worry, if you can remember, if you can tie your shoe, why is that? Because all three of those things that he just described require that you lock into your imagination. You're literally using pictures in your mind to remember a past event. When we are worrying, we are thinking in pictures about something that's literally not real. Like it may be a fact, but you're picturing it in your mind.
Right.
And you tie your shoes the same way, right?
Right.
So therein lies the secret here, is it's our imagination. So we use our creative imagination to create mental pictures about who it is we want to be. So in the program that we work with, Thinking into Results, and you said you love this lesson on self-image, it has us identifying key characteristics of the person that we really want to be. This is just a glimpse of what that looks like. It goes much deeper than that, just to give you some understanding that there are ways to do this, but the key is to use your imagination. A body of work that well, here's what Einstein said. He said, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Imagination is more important than knowledge. I just absolutely love that. He said that of all the things that he invented, not one of them came through his rational thinking.
I'm writing this down.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I actually can believe it now. Had you told me that, 5 months ago, I probably would have been, oh, okay, that really doesn't mean a whole lot. But now, absolutely. And I want to just kind of tell anyone that's watching this my experience on that. And because, intentionally, imagination, consistency, and I think being intentional about it, because especially when, we hear all the time, I don't have time, or I don't do that. And being intentional to make the time. Like for me, my thing is nobody needs me at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's my time.
Yeah.
And I intentionally get up to imagine myself with the life that I want by journaling, meditation, study, really finding that out. Because what happens is you go throughout your day and you do happen to run into people, or you get into your own routine and you don't intentionally imagine yourself with what you want. So then the energy that you're giving off is whatever conversations that you're having with people who may not be as intentional as you are on what you want to imagine or what you want to be. The other thing too is knowledge is knowledge. Imagination is that feeling and being able to be there. How we were talking about before this conversation really before we got into it, our vibration, right? I every day, 5 a.m. am intentionally in vibration with what it is that I want. And when that happens, you are intentionally seeking opportunity, and you actually have already been there in your imagination and how you feel. And so when opportunities arise, you notice them. You notice them. But that doesn't happen overnight. I mean, that takes consistency. I'm on month 7 or 8, and I'm already looking forward to getting into this material again, knowing what I know now, and then going into it and being able to dig even deeper into it. But I think what happens is with most people, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what happened in my life, is if we're not intentional about what we want and we aren't seeking it, we tend to look at our current results as our reality and say to ourselves, well, that's just what's meant for me. Well, that type of success just isn't in the cards for me. That's for other people. And I'm learning that couldn't be more false. it's really what you are intentionally thinking. So if you're complaining, that's what you're intentionally manifesting or seeking, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, do you think I'm on the right track here? I'm trying to talk in a manner of how, when I first dove into this information, of how I would go, yep, that's right. That's how I'm thinking about this.
Well, Brooke, you're on. I mean, of course, your dominating thoughts eventually will reproduce themselves in outward physical action and physical reality, right from Napoleon Hill. So yes, your thoughts create things. Your thoughts that you become emotionally involved with create focus and clarity, and we will draw it to us. Mm-hmm. And it will filter out everything else. It will bring it closer to us. So yes, what you're focused on, because our mind is like a garden. So think of like a fertile garden. So if we're spending our time in negative thought patterns and we're not aware of doing that, then imagine the weeds that are growing in the garden. And so someone that's tapped into this and they understand, they have a level of awareness that is allowing them to be conscious of their thoughts, moment by moment, but not necessarily like monitoring your thoughts, but how do you feel will give you an idea about if you're involved in the wrong idea. And as soon as you realize you're involved in a negative thought, talking to a negative person, watching the negative, crappy news, you shift it and you can turn to an affirmation that's in alignment with your goals and dreams. I am so happy and grateful now that, insert the goal. And that's how you shift your mindset. And it changes like that. And suddenly you're vibrant in a new level and you feel better and you're attracting better, and better. And the better it gets, the better it gets.
The better it gets. Absolutely. And it's kind of like what I say to my kids too, is like, you can tell who is living the life that they are designing versus those who are more so, I don't want to say existing, but that's the word I'm going to use. By the conversation that you're having with them when you're visiting them. So if they're, sometimes we have to see people and sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to go. Well, why don't you want to go? Well, because it's negative, because we sit around and complain, because we sit around and we talk about people, and because it's the same every single time, because they're complaining about how bad their life is, but they aren't doing anything about it. And then we go back and it's the exact same situation, the exact same discussion, it's the exact same talk. Versus when you're talking to somebody who's going after what they want, conversation's alive, there's no gossip. We're talking about, our hopes, dreams, goals. They're asking you about your own hopes, dreams, and goals. The energy is different. The conversation is different. And every time you go back there, you're seeing a transformation of them actually achieving what they're set out to achieving. And it's a completely different energy. So I always say, look, if you feel good around that person and you leave better, that's the person you want to be really intentional about being around.
Yeah. That's good. And that type of person will also uplift and support you.
That's right.
Versus someone else that's not in the path. And it's not about being a bad or a good person. It's because when you're launching this direction and they're not, and you're accomplishing things that are outside of the realm of their understanding, because you're here and they're here in that way, they have to consciously acknowledge that they're not moving, and that hurts. And that's all that there is. That's all that's happening. So they reach up and grab your ankle and pull you down and say, please don't leave me.
Okay.
Do you see that? Like by
fear.
Watching you do that,
like fear.
Well, they're not moving their life forward. I mean, spirit is for expansion and fuller expression. So when we're just bottling up who we really are, we're not going after our goals and dreams, we are suppressing that which we are intended to share. We're intended to grow and get and improve. We're supposed to run faster, sell more, experience life. Like that's what we're supposed to do. So anybody that's not doing that, they're bottled up inside and they aren't making the changes, and they can't. It's hard. It's an ego hit to watch someone that's skyrocketing. They're like, please don't leave me, because I need you to be here with me, because I feel better about myself that way. That's all that's happening. Just kind of call it what it is,
So what do you say to someone, because I, go off on my tangents about how excited I am about how my life is changing. And I don't even know if I think I can feel it. I love it. But someone, if someone says to you, I don't even know what I want, I don't even know how to get started, what would you say to that person?
Well, I would say the starting point, is, we can go back, like a lot of these things, like I'm going to pull right from here, not because here's the thing, like I didn't make any of this stuff up. I was fortunate enough to come across a path and understand that this stuff has been around for a long time. And, it just took me 46 years to figure it out. But I would say just get clear on what you want. Here's the challenge with this question. I was just asked this the other day too. So what happens if someone doesn't know what they want? When you say, just get clear, understand what you want. Desire is Latin for to breathe life into. And so we've been mentally programmed to think that because we want something that somehow that's evil. Like spirit is in us.
Selfish, or why would I want more than I have already?
Why? Yeah. Like why does Jobs make the iPhone? Why did NASA send men to the moon? Why is Musk on going to Mars? Like, come on. Spirit is for expansion and fuller expression. So get clear on that. Desire to breathe life into. There's a reason. Why do we have an imagination? I heard this tonight. I was on a call with Bob Proctor himself. Ask yourself the question, why do we have an imagination?
That's good.
We're not meant to use it. Then what's going on? Why do I dream these big dreams? I am thankful for the idea that has used me. So be clear on that. Figure out what you want. So the challenge we learn in lesson 2 of the program is we have these things called paradigms. And I always share the example of the game at the arcade, which is called Whack-A-Mole, where you have a big hammer. It's a big puffy hammer and these little moles come up. You got to bap, right?
Oh yeah. Like at Chuck E. Cheese's. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I forgot the name of that place, but
Yes.
Those are paradigms. So it's like, what do you really want? You're like, I know.
Give me the definition of paradigm.
So yeah, a paradigm is a multitude of thought habits that are lodged in the subconscious mind. So it's akin to the image. The self-image would be like a part of a paradigm. So just think of it like it's a self-image is one habit, one way of being, but a paradigm would be a multitude. So we have a multitude of these thought habits that are deeply rooted. We've created neural pathways in our brain that literally lock in a belief system and a way of being. And so I want that, like you can get someone to say, you know what I really want? If I can get you there, like I really want to travel the world. I really want to see Venice and I want to see Greece and I want to see, like, if that's what the person says. And then all of a sudden what happens is the paradigm swoops in and says, yeah, but. That's the paradigm. The paradigm is the yeah, but. Okay, now I'm talking to a 6-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Paradigm.
Yeah.
Paradigm is when you say you want something, but then you have three reasons right away.
Yeah, but I don't have vacation time. Yeah, but I don't have the money. Yeah, but my kids.
Time, money, resources. Time, money, resources. It's usually going to be those 3 things. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. Over and over again. So those are the paradigms. They keep us boxed in. A paradigm is a way of thinking that is mentally rooted in junk because it was handed to us. We didn't ask for it, and it keeps us locked in. Why? Because our mammalian brain wants to keep us alive and procreating. It has nothing to do with going after big goals and dreams, right?
Is your self-image at that time saying to you, you're not worthy?
Yeah, your self-image is saying you're not, you can't have that because you're not the type of person that would do that. You remember that I told you that you will always be consistent with the type of person that I believe that I am. Yeah. So the actions that we take that are in alignment with that. Look, we will have what we believe we are worth. We will have in our physical experience that which we believe we worth. If I believed, if that person believed that they were worthy of driving a Lamborghini, gosh darn it, they'd have it in their driveway.
Totally.
Why don't I have one? They ask. You don't believe you're worthy of it. Because what would happen? If I believed that I was worthy of it, I visualized that every single day. I drew it closer to me. I saw it. I sat in that car in my imagination every single day. It is so real that I can touch it and feel it and smell the leather. It's in your driveway, right? But if you don't have it, you weren't emotionally involved in it and you did not believe that you were worthy of it.
And I love how you say, like, your reason why, one thing that you taught me your reason why has to be bigger than your excuses. So a lot of people in their head, okay, the Lamborghini in the driveway, right? Well, they haven't changed their self-image. And so what they see at that time is the people that they're still surrounding themselves with saying, oh, you big shot. Oh, you think you think you deserve that, or, whatever that might be. And then woof, the minute that goes away, the Lamborghini goes away. Or the minute that comes up, the Lamborghini is gone, and it's just that much further.
Well, it takes work, as Napoleon Hill says. He says that if you fail, you try and fail make another shot at it, because he said it's not the program that's failing, it's the individual. I'm going to read something to you. This should lock this in. I love Neville Goddard and the Power of Awareness. Chapter 3 is the power of assumption. This is so damn powerful. Like this could change lives if you really understand what he's saying here. He said that to be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change. But your thoughts cannot change unless you have new ideas, imagination, for you think from your ideas. All transformation begins with an intense, this is getting to it now, with an intense burning desire to be transformed.
Yeah.
The first step in renewing the mind is desire. You must want to be different and intend to be different before you can begin to change yourself. Then you must make your future dream. This is it right here. This is the whole caboodle right here. You must then make your future dream a present fact. You do this by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. What is he saying? Mm-hmm. This is about feeling. Using your imagination, make your future the present by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled as though it's real right now. It doesn't, subconscious does not know the difference between reality and imagined reality. That's why I said 2 words here: consistency and imagination.
I love that. You just hit something really, really, really big. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between whether it's real or imagined, but it is going to create whatever you feed it. It's a garden, right? That is huge right there. So if you're not consciously feeding your subconscious mind a different story, you're going to continue to get the same story that you're telling yourself. So you have to very intentionally and consciously feed your subconscious mind a different story. I am constantly hearing myself, and I know I frustrate the hell out of people because I'm constantly saying to people, tell yourself a different story. Tell yourself a different story. And because you can hear now, or I can hear now what they're saying out loud, and they're saying what they feel they're worth. They're telling themselves a story of why they don't have it. Tell yourself a different story.
Yeah, our words, when we say something, we verbally express an inward belief. It has 80% chance, 80 times more chance of that actually happening, like the negative side of that equation. Our words they have gravity, and we don't know how powerful our words are. If I'm thinking something and then it comes out like a negative thought, or I'm not worthy of this, I never had that, I can't believe of this, it just reinforces it 80 times. The study's been done. So guard your words. Just start telling a better story. Brooke, that's really a great piece of advice. Like, tell a better story.
You're telling yourself a story anyway. So
yeah, you're already telling
a different one.
Just tell a better story. I was born on the other side of the tracks. Tell a better story about that. I'm so happy and grateful that I love knowing that I am creator of my own destiny. I love knowing that every day I wake up, I can go out and make things happen. Bob has a confidence boosting affirmations. I love them. He says, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have the self-esteem, power, and confidence to move forward in life with ease. Now imagine if you replaced your negative thought with that. I accept and use my own power as I take action on my goals.
Love.
Yeah, over and over and over again, like self-affirmation. Yeah.
I'm gonna look on my phone to see if we have any questions on our Facebook.
Fire it.
And before I do that, though, I just want to say, if you guys, if we haven't had a conversation about what it is I'm doing, or if you know me personally, you know that Kevin's been in my life for a while. We have mentioned a few times, Kevin and I have known each other for about 10 years. And I think we can both, Kevin to me is a totally different person than what he was when I first met him in 2010. There's always been an incredible man under there, right? You seem so much more relaxed now, and you're accomplishing so much more. You have more businesses than you did before then. You have older children. You have more responsibility, yet your energy is so chill. compared to where you were 10 years ago? And I want to know what you attribute that to, because it's definitely apparent. And it's just, yeah.
So my wife would kill me if I told you this story, but I was sharing something that happened over the weekend with another client, and I shared that I was late mountain biking, and I had to tell him why. I said because my wife backed the Yukon out of the garage, but the garage door was closed. So she's gonna kill me. But she came in and she said, this is really bad. I said, what is it? She said, I just demolished the garage door. So I said, no kidding. I said, huh, let me take a look at that. So I went out there, and she took the Jeep to take Lucy somewhere, and instead of, because she couldn't take the Yukon because it was stuck in the garage.
Right.
So I calmly took a hammer and just beat the heck out of it and got it back into working order. It needs to be fixed still. And I was telling this client of ours, you know him as well, but Ricky, and he said he was, going on this date with somebody who experienced something that was like similar in ways, but that she was so frantic and like spazzing out. He said, I showed up and I said that my wife backed the Yukon into the garage door, he's like, you said it like you just had a glass of water. I'm like, well, what are
you going to do about it? Right.
What are you doing about it? I kind of looked at it as a challenge, like man with hammer fix, very like cavemanish. But Brooke, so in more of a serious side, when we talk about results in this program, a lot of times, if I can think of two people off the top of my head, I ask them, what's the most profound thing that you've experienced change in, is they say calmness of mind. Because once we really understand the implications of this, then we know what we're doing. We know that we have a choice to consciously think of thoughts that we become emotionally involved in, and we emotionally involve that, it becomes a part of our subconscious in every cell of the body. It puts us into action. I also know that I can think a thought, have something happen in front of me, and choose, unlike the four-legged creatures that walk around us, they're called pets and animals, that they don't get a choice. They're running off instinct, right? So I can pause and just think of, like, is this really going to be something worth getting frustrated about? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no, right?
Right.
So,
right. So are you consciously staying in a positive vibration, a positive state of mind? Because that's where you want your vibration to be. And then practice has brought you to that, where you are maybe just...
That's such a good, Brooke. That is so powerful. So listen, the question is I already knew what you were going to ask me before you asked it, first of all. Okay. Secondly, is when you begin to understand, this is great for salespeople. It's good for everybody too. But a lot of time, like for salespeople, and you'll understand why in a second, we can't afford to take a vibrational hit. And the reason is because we stay in that state of mind for 17 seconds or longer. Boom. Now we have attracted another negative thought to the first one. Have you ever done it? Try this experiment. It's called negative thought stacking. And negative thoughts stack faster and more readily than positive thoughts. You have a positive thought, you're like, oh, it's a beautiful day. And then you kind of like, that's it, right? Negative thought, oh, so-and-so, oh, she ran into my garage door. Oh, what else does she do? Dot, right? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you know what else she does? Next thing you know, I've got like 5 minutes of a negative thought pattern. And so what does that do? If we understand the implications of vibration, I'm vibrating at a low level, I'm going out in the world, like trying to influence people to take action that's in their best interest, but I'm pissed off or I'm lower level vibration. I'm now attracting, through the law of attraction, people and circumstances and events that I don't want. You see that? There's such a negative implication there. Take a breath. There's a pause between the event and what we do, and that's called responding versus reacting. James Allen, in his wonderful book, As a Man Thinketh, the last chapter, he says, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It's a result of long and patient effort in self-control. And I love that. It's a mantra that I share. I say it to myself over and over again, and it helps me. So when my wife ran into the garage door, it was really kind of a non-event. I do give her a hard time over it, though. I do. I totally do.
It's a good, by the way, she doesn't have Facebook. So the fact that she probably won't see this.
Oh, don't you worry. Her friends do.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
She's going to know that I mentioned the garage door here. Yeah.
All right, listen, if there's anybody that has a question for Kevin, now is the time to ask it. Let's see, it says, I've got, they're talking about, yes, you cannot pour, oh gosh, you can't pour from an empty cup. I have learned that lesson, and I am telling you, for me, that is so powerful to get up, fill my cup in the morning, and just to be able to have that time. And for me, get myself in the right frame of mind, pour into myself. So by the time that my day starts, I am just overflowing. And it's amazing how I am getting so much more done coming from a different energy because my cup is so full. And by the end of the day, I still feel like I have more to give. I used to be like, I'm done. I'm depleted. I have no more to give to anybody. Because I would wake up, I'd hit snooze 12 times, play the game in my head in the morning of, well, do I have to blow dry my hair today? Maybe I'll just work out tonight instead, right? So then before I know it, I'm getting out of bed, I'm frantic. It's how I'm starting my day. I haven't taken any time for me. I immediately start pouring into my team, my kids, my clients. Everyone's pulling. The first thing I do when I got out of bed is I would answer emails, and I'm just giving. And by 4 o'clock, I'm like, I'm done. So people say to me, I can't get up at 5 in the morning. I can't do that in the morning. There's no way. I'm too busy during the day. I'd be so exhausted. And I'm sitting here going, I have more energy than I've ever had by getting up and pouring into my cup first. So Matt Kramer said, you can't pour from an empty cup. And I cannot stress that enough, how life-changing that is right there.
Well, think about, you said there's some of the things in there that you said, Brooke, that just rang true for me in watching you and listening to what you're saying is, you pour into yourself so that you can pour into others, right? And so what does that say? It says that you have an image of yourself that is someone that gives to others. And so when we stop growing and reading and learning and improving ourselves, what we're kind of saying without even knowing it is that we're done. Like we're done. Like, I don't need to know more. I'm good, right? Well, you're good if you're only if you're only thinking about yourself, you're good. Sure.
Yeah.
Right? See the difference there? But if I'm like, no, wait a minute. Like, I want to help people from here to India, all the way back. I'm global. Don't you? I mean, I got to learn me some stuff here, right?
Yeah.
I have to learn how to help people and this information. So like, you're doing that. You're getting up because you have an image that is, what does that person act like?
Right.
They get up in the morning and they work on themselves every day, no matter what.
And you crave it after you do it for a while. You really do.
I mean, it's
you because you just can't. I can't imagine not doing that. In fact, I have gone a day where I haven't, and I'm so off. I'm like, this is not worth it. So
right, totally.
Let's see. Oh, someone has a in regard to the comparison between whack-a-mole and old paradigms. How does one whack the old paradigm when it comes up in the moment? In other words, how do you radically increase your level of vibration when you feel the old paradigm coming up? Ooh, that's good.
So listen, it's like levels of awareness. So speaking of Einstein quotes, it's interesting how, like, I read 4 of them and like several have applied to this conversation. So I'm going to paraphrase, but it's not going to be exact, but something like this. He said, a smart man solves problems when they come up. A wise man avoids them. Okay, let me just let that sit for a second. A smart person solves problems as they come up, right? The wise person avoids them. So what we're talking about is in the moment by moment. So if we're having these paradigms creep up, I use that as an example of when I'm asking somebody what they want before they've done the work. The paradigms are creeping up and popping up all the time. But if you have done the work, the inside game, the inner game, then your paradigms that are popping up, get this, what do you really want? Oh, I know. I want a Cirrus SF-50 Vision jet. It's about $2 million, and I'm going to pilot that bad boy all over the world. Whack-a-mole. Here's the mole. You can have that. You're worthy of that. I bet you can fly that thing real good, Kevin. Ooh, where are you going to go? everywhere. You see that?
Yeah.
Different moles. So the paradigms are positive paradigms too. So that's what I'm gonna help you with. That one is get in front of it. Get in front of it. Don't, yeah.
It starts with your self-image.
It's all self-image. It's all, there's no, like, it's always going to roll back to that. Like,
So
people
good.
get annoyed. People get annoyed with me. My team gets annoyed with me. I'll tell you right now. If you're on here,
people are starting to get annoyed with me too. So we'll just be annoying together. So that's
okay.
fine.
Super. Get annoyed all you want. I tell you what I'd love to do. Here's the thing. If you can read psychocybernetics and explain it to a 6-year-old, then come to me and tell me if I'm annoying. Yeah. Let's just talk about that for a minute, because annoyance is an interesting term. Like it is the thing. It's the secret sauce underneath it all. Business building, wealth creation. Ooh, we never talked about relationships. Think about that. If you are somebody that is constantly attracting the wrong mate, consider like your outward projection of an inner belief system. Okay, so you're just attracting that which you believe you are worthy of. You have to do the work there too.
Every single area of your life, every single area. Yeah. It's amazing. And in fact, I have almost looked at now through studying this material, I almost think the situations of my life, I almost kind of go, oh, thanks for showing that to me. Okay, gotta think about that differently. That's a complete reflection of exactly what I think I'm worth. Yeah. So if I'm not liking a situation, whether it be my business, my family, my relationships, my income, whatever it is, it's like, oh, okay, what story are you telling yourself, Brooke? Mm-hmm. What is it? Because this is a reflection, not of what you believe today, but what you believed yesterday, right? Because this is, your life is showing and appearing as a form of how you believe. So what belief system, Brooke, do you have to change? If you don't like the results right here in front of you, what belief system is it that you have to change? And I look at my life now through the teachings that you have taught me as a mirror in every area.
So good. That's so good.
Of what my self-image is on that particular area. I don't like my income. Oh, well, what story are you telling yourself?
Yeah.
I don't like whatever. What story are you telling yourself then? Why do you believe that you deserve that? Because clearly at one time, you believe that's what you deserve because that's what's right in front of you. Tell yourself a different story. So it's all self-image. It's all
our results are the report card. They tell us how we're doing in that area. That's all. I mean, it's that simple, yet that deep and profound.
Totally. I love it. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, here's the thing. I wanted to bring Kevin on, well, for several reasons. Again, I'm going to tell you what I said in the beginning of this is that when somebody has greatly impacted my life, I think in abundance mindset. Some people may say to me, oh, well, Kevin's in real estate and he's a competitor of yours. Why are you guys doing this? Well, whatever that may be. I don't even know if someone's thinking that. But when you have something so good and you understand this material, you understand that everything is abundant and there's enough to go around for everybody. And then you start to want that for everybody. And you start to just want to you want the way that you see things for everyone. Anyone that's hungry for it, anyone that's hungry for a change, anyone that looks at their life like I did and says, I feel like I'm doing the work and I'm doing everything, but there's still something missing. And I think that's the secret sauce that you have here. You're not teaching, you're not giving us material on how to sell more. You're not setting our goals for us. You're not telling me what it is that I want. You're saying, Brooke, what do you desire? And whatever that is, big or small, I have the blueprint. And all you have to do is do exactly what I show you to do, commit to it, and I can help you get there. And you said that to me, and I believed you. And I'm so glad I did, because in this one, people could say that this has been a terrible 6 months for them, right? Because of everything that's going on in the world. People could look at the outside environment and I'm going, this has been amazing. The growth path that I've been on just with this material and committing to it, I can't wait to dive into it again and more and more and more. So I want to share that with everybody. So tell everyone if people have watched this all the way through, they're clearly wanting to hear what you have to say. And so tell them, if someone's looking for a change, what's the best way to get a hold of you to get more information on just, you guys, this is just a snippet. This is like so small compared to everything else that we have. We could be on, like I said, this webinar for 12 hours. So if they want to just get the whole shebang or just have a conversation with you about anything, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah. Thanks, Brooke. So one thing, real before, I want to make sure I say this before I forget. So I was on the call with you, Brooke, and I know you know this, but to share this with this audience, is when you made a committed decision to start doing Facebook Lives and sharing other people's stories from a very unselfish place, like this conversation and the ones you've had. I was on that call with you, and there are others that are on that call as well. And you're the only one that put yourself on the line. In other words, you said, I'm making a committed decision. And in that moment of decision, you stepped into that version that you aspired to be, which is doing these things. It's such a powerful thing. That's a real life example of somebody who is not only working on it, but has improved your self-image. You're walking the talk, right? So I'm proud of you for that. So great. That's just wonderful. Yeah. So I don't know. My website is Yoder Results. It's easy. Yoder, Yoder Results, 2 Rs.com. You can go to my Facebook page, Yoder Results. So if you want to, I'll just do this. If you have something you want to break through with, just go to my website and click on Contact Kevin. It'll pull up my calendar. You just book a time with me. I'm not charging you for it. Just schedule a call. It's a breakthrough strategy session, and I'll help you unlock something.
Yeah.
And if this information here today resonates with you, then go ahead and
have the discussion. Yeah. Just have the discussion with them, you guys. Seriously, like it may be for you, it may not be for you, but at least if you're like, oh, it's not for me, well, at least know what you're saying no to, right? And if you're hungry for the information, I'm telling you, this is the meat and potatoes. I have had lots of business coaches. All have been wonderful. All have gotten me to a different level. This has gotten me, this has opened the door for me to realize what was stopping me in the first place. It's been amazing. Listen, real estate agents, all of the real estate agents, whether you are, I want to tell them about this, Kevin, because, and I know you probably weren't going to bring it up, but I'm going to. If you are watching this and you are a realtor, and I don't care if you're in Michigan, Florida, Europe, wherever you are, Kevin has put together one of the most, I'm super pumped about this program. There are several stages that realtors feel like they've maybe hit a ceiling. Identify those 3 for us, Kevin. What if you're feeling one of these 3 things?
Yeah. So thanks for teeing that up, because here's the thing. I'm passionate about the self-image. Why? Why? Because I had to improve my self-image. I had to improve my self-image to match my goals. Okay. So when it comes to this real estate conversation, you're going to be one of these 3 things. Number 1, you're new into real estate and you can't seem to gain traction. Huge group of new agents around the world, but in the United States of America, entered real estate. You can't seem to gain traction. Like, what's behind that? Like, what's stopping you from gaining traction in real estate? Big one, right? Yeah. Number 2 is you've hit the ceiling. You can't seem to break through. This guy here talking to you has hit that twice, couldn't break through that ceiling of achievement. So that's a big thing. Like, have you not crested past your best year in real estate yet?
Yeah.
And then the third one is your time work, your work-life balance, is it out of whack? Are you spending more time on your laptop? Are your kids talking to you and you're like, yeah, honey, hold on. Like you're constantly working. You have your phone in your face all the time. Your kids don't see your face. They see your phone. You bring your work home with you. You wake up in the morning early, you're working. You go to bed late at night, you're working. Now, I get that the real estate's, that's sort of a name of the game. It doesn't need to be running your life. You can control it. Real estate, you're the master. So that's the third one.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this because I feel like I have hit all 3 of those at one point or another.
Sure.
And so I think that so if you are a real estate agent, Kevin has put together an incredible program. He's actually going to do a free mastermind class. Okay. So all you have to do is raise your hand to Kevin or I, and we will show you how to get into this free master class. Next week? I think it's next week,
Master
right?
classes, yeah, master classes are, I'm gonna look at the dates here. There are going to be 3 master classes. I can share the links.
Will you
with
do that
Brooke.
on this
Yeah,
thread
sure. Let me see.
when
I can do
after
that.
when we're done? Go ahead and
Sure,
just
yeah,
so
absolutely.
then anyone that's interested, you guys, it's free. How long does each master class take? An hour?
About an hour. Yeah, 3.
It's an hour. It's an
one for
hour
each topic. Yeah.
to change your life.
Yeah.
Literally to change your life. So I love that. So Kevin will put those links in there. If you have questions about it, if you want to know, I'm honest to a fault. I don't bring anyone into I don't tell anyone. I don't give referrals just willy-nilly. So I believe in this material if I'm bringing it is to every single person I know. So if you have more questions, contact me. If you want the links or you want to talk about what those might look like, contact me. If you're not in real estate, but you are at an area where you feel like you could use a little bit of an improvement in life, you guys, this program's for everybody. This program is for everybody. My kids, my team, everyone that is in my life knows that I'm in the material because I live and breathe it, and I kind of just throw it up all over everybody. So you're welcome if you're in my world. Any last thoughts that we can leave people with?
I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am.
So good.
Just let that marinate. I mean, you just really have to understand this. And it is the most profound, life-changing concept if you get it. And you've got to just run it through over and over again. Once you do it, you'll go, oh, I had that moment after it was shared with me. So
say it again.
Yeah. So I am not who I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. See, the image is wrapped in there. If you really think about it, and this is not a test, but it takes a while. Maybe I'm a slow learner, right? Yeah. But so listen, that's at the heart of this thing. This touches all aspects of our lives, from our relationships to our businesses, to our incomes, to the homes we live in, to the cars we drive, to the vacations that we settle for or don't go on at all. It's all driven off the self-image. We can't outperform it. It'll always ratchet us down back to what we believe we're worth. If we're stuck in a dead-end job that we do not love, how do you know? You wake up on a Sunday afternoon around 4. How you feeling? Mm-hmm. Watching a movie with your loved ones? Sick in your stomach, thinking about that job you got to go to, then you know you're in the wrong place. You got to wake up on Monday morning fired up. You never do TGIF. I mean, you do for funsies, right? But it's TGIM, right? Yeah. So some things to keep in mind. This is based on your self-image, what you believe you're worth. You'll be working on Monday morning in a place that you love if you believe you're worth it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is it, folks. This is a life-changing concept. So hopefully this hits you in the heart today. The intent here is to help you, to give you insights into something that I didn't find out for a very, very long time. It's changed my life, and it's changing the life of those that really are putting this into place. Brooke is a prime example of that. So thanks for having me on, Brooke. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you guys reach out to him. Our intent here is just change a ton of lives. And if you're one of them, this is the material you need to sink your teeth into. So thank you, Kevin. That was awesome.
Thanks, appreciate
you. Go ahead and put the links on here and on your website too. So for anyone that wants to get a hold of you, I would just be delighted if they reached out. So thank you so much. That was powerful. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. Have a great night.